Hey kids, it's time for a Christmas episode of KWJUDAS.
Waking up tired and feeling inspired, but drama conspires, extinguish the fires. My bandwidth expires, I wanna retire. They say I don't burn out, that makes them a liar. My DMs are blowing, my ego exposing. The people I'm holding only see when it's golden. Can never be knowing the cards that I'm folding. We reap what is sowing, the life we have chosen. Grow old and get bitter, we losing friends quicker. The world getting sicker, the message delivered. All things considered, it could have been bigger. We fail to pull triggers and blow it like clippers. Our options get smaller, but orders get taller. No ruby shot collars for a 1K for ballers. A mask and revolver, a cop gets a collar. But how you pay rent when they don't accept dollars? The story of us and why we lose touch. All over it's rough and never enough. Lifestyle is tough, we drink and we cuss. Our friends turn to dust and we miss them so much. So sick of the waiting and growing impatient. The justice we're taking and music we're facing. Our dedication and our declaration. We go to more funerals than graduations. Can't worry about you if I'm worried for me. I cannot help if I cannot see. Just let me go, just let me be. Is there ever a time when we were all free? When you think about it, I honestly doubt it. Our judgment is clouded when feelings surrounded. The stress is compounded, the hate we allow it. The world and its ish, man, yo, I'm good without it. Can't worry about you if I'm worried for me. I cannot help if I cannot see. Just let me go, just let me be. Is there ever a time when we were all free? When you think about it, I honestly doubt it. Our judgment is clouded when feelings surrounded. The stress is compounded, the hate we allow it. The world and its ish, man, yo, I'm good without it. To whom it concerns, I want you to learn. Playing with fire, you don't have to burn. Don't wait your turn, go out there and earn. Settle your claim for the jury adjourns. Treat dreams like a hobby, your prophets be sorry. They look at you widely, stay stuck in the lobby. So build up your army, make sure they eat hearty. To hell with the drama, I miss you, Ken Doggy. The music we make that no one could take. Bond wouldn't break and never could fake. Pride made me wait, I wouldn't debate. Try to make peace, but by then it's too late. Refuse to reach out and hear us both out. Forget all about what gave us the clout. The untaken route, forever in doubt. And all we got left is a song we can shout. If listening now, go put the phone down. See people in town, look those still around. Our moments are found in dabs that we pound. Give people their flowers instead of the ground. Those left behind, I know that you're hurting. You're feeling uncertain and nothing is working. But rest assured, our people returning. Cause one day for us, our time will be curtains. Can't worry about you if I'm worried for me. I cannot help if I cannot see. Just let me go, just let me be. Is there ever a time when we were all free? When you think about it, I honestly doubt it. Our judgment is clouded when feelings surrounded. The stress is compounded, the hate we allow it. The world and its ish, man, yo, I'm good without it. Can't worry about you if I'm worried for me. I cannot help if I cannot see. Just let me go, just let me be. Is there ever a time when we were all free? When you think about it, I honestly doubt it. Our judgment is clouded when feelings surrounded. The stress is compounded, the hate we allow it. The world and its ish, man, yo, I'm good without it.
You know that the last episode with the real folk was supposed to be the last episode of this season.
What happened, Darlis?
Well, I ran into Poet at this show that he wasn't supposed to be playing.
Son of a bitch.
Where no one showed up, even the people that asked us to book it, because they were stuck in a hurricane. Long story short, I was like, hey, if you guys wanted to sneak on to KWJUDAS at the end of the season, it would happen to fall right on Christmas Eve!
Oh, Merry Christmas.
So here we are.
It's the holiday special, and I told him, hell yeah, let's get our Christmas on.
And I wouldn't have actually offered this to anyone else. Except maybe, like, I don't know, Reaper or Ritual, who've already been on the show this season. Besides, I don't know if you and Reaper would now be tied as far as reoccurring guests, and Ritual would also be up there, too. I think we need to have some sort of a competition, though, maybe next season.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out to Reaper and Ritual, man. Both are solid gentlemen, and
Sure.
we're happy to be here, brother. Merry Christmas to all our fellow listeners. Happy Hanukkah, happy Kwanzaa, happy whatever the hell it is, and to all my atheist brothers and sisters, you know what? It's a special occasion. You don't have to celebrate nothing except just living your damn lives. It is Christmas, ladies and gentlemen. Let's just enjoy ourselves.
Atheists actually drink eggnog.
That's what I'm
It
saying.
turns
Enjoy the eggnog and the mistletoe, because atheists need love too.
Hey, and thank you for letting me. This is DJ Coma's first.
No, is it your first? I swear you've been on this with me before.
I think you've been stagged just about every time. There was one time you brought your kid.
Yeah.
I think that was the first time, and we're just like, who the fuck is this? This ain't no daycare.
And I'm just all like, hey, man, wherever I go, Little Miss rolls with me. So, yes, ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to my man, DJ Coma, my brother,
And this is Mayor Poet.
Mayor Poet. Better believe
The
it.
return of the poet. Actually, I think we have a missing episode, too. So if you don't have Reaper beat, we still got an episode that is like just floating around somewhere that I found after we published this. Because I don't know if I told you, none of this stuff was getting published for like 5 years.
Yeah.
And I finally took the liberty of archiving it all. Was that last year or 2 years ago?
Just in the nick of time.
It was a pain in the ass. And then I found like a small handful of episodes that didn't get archived. So we'll probably have to throw those in sometime in season 8 if we do make a season 8, which I probably will, because why not?
Yeah, why not, man? And that's and every time has always been a great time. So you know what? I always enjoy our shows. I always enjoy coming to meet and just hanging out with you guys. It's always been a blast.
Indeed, and it's been a minute too.
It's been a hell of a year this past year. So I released my new project, Stoic. It's available on all platforms now. That first song we were bumping was Funerals. That was produced by Angel Da Vinci, and that song, it was a very personal song, just in regards to an old friend, Kenner Cross, aka Ken Doggy, who we lost last year. And so this whole year, just I've been putting out, the new projects. And there was even also some fun stuff. Bought a house, graduated
In Thule, out there in the dunes.
Oh yeah, man! It's like I say, just every time I drive through it, where you see all these little, you'll see like some kind of like small business, coffee shops, and whatnot. Then farmhouse, suburb, farmhouse. I just keep on thinking of Robert L. Emery. I think that's his name. Full Metal Jacket. Stairs and queers. I don't see any horns on you, feller. What does that make you?
So you roll around with your fake set of horns. So
Oh yeah.
no, I'm just kidding.
just to keep it 100,
Or you roll around with your booty shorts.
Not.
I do both.
I mean,
That's what I do,
like,
just
I'm
to
not-
confuse them.
Mixed messages.
When it comes to the booty,
Right.
booty
You're
shorts are
sending
all
them
right.
mixed signals, boy.
But booty shorts, I mean, that's kind of last year. It's all about the leggings, gentlemen. Like you got to be rocking them leggings and yoga pants. That's what's in. That's where you.
That's why Wizard's doing it.
No, you better believe it.
If you're wondering where Wizard's at, which you didn't ask,
No, I'm curious.
Because you told me.
he
You told me
hasn't
before
been here.
the show.
I run over him with a bus.
Yeah, and I mean, it just.
Wait,
He probably.
you fucking ran him over?
I'll have to show you the clip after the show. But yeah, I ran over him with a bus. You'll find out what happens to him actually on the upcoming cartoons, because that's another kind of fun thing of these last 4 weeks of KWJUDAS. I have always wanted to do a Christmas special, and we got these two guys joining in on the Christmas fun, which we're going to show you guys later tonight. But yeah, the whole thing with Wizard, you'd have to backtrack a little bit. There's another cartoon where, yes, he does get run over by a bus. And if you even look at the title screen of every KWJUDAS episode, I'm kind of running over him with a bus. And so I worked that into the cartoon somehow. I wasn't intending on doing that, but it just sort of worked out.
Yeah.
But it's okay. I'm not going to like spoil what happens, in the end, but it gets explained. So stay tuned for part 4. Tonight we are going to be showing part 3, but let's get into some music first. We've got, let's see, Ghosts here by Poet Is there a story behind this one?
It's just off the new album, Stoic. You can listen to it now. And Ghost is just basically about everything we are seeing today, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy.
We're seeing a lot of ghosts, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
This year took a lot of very important people.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. Louis Anderson, Bob Saget, Gilbert Gottfried.
I mean, from all walks
all
of life.
comedians from our childhood.
Yeah, even some fighters have passed away.
Norm Macdonald.
Yep, Norm Macdonald. And so really when it came down to Ghost was it was me writing a song about, obviously, seeing everything going on with the world and how everything just seems to be getting more insane, and the only sanity you can actually reflect on are the people that you had. And so, the only people you really talk to these days are ghosts, because you can't talk to anyone anymore. No one can be convinced of anything, anytime, anywhere by anybody. Everyone is stuck in their silos. If you wanted to have a discussion, it doesn't matter. Everyone has an agenda, and everyone is an immovable object. So it doesn't matter. We can all just live in our own little meta universes, and we just all coexist somehow with our heads down. And you just kind of sit back and think, the last time I ever had a really good open conversation was with so-and-so, and they're not here anymore. So you know what? You guys can keep on commenting, talking, chatting, and all that, all online and social media. I'm going to go talk to you and have a real conversation with my friends who ain't here no more.
Or have a conversation with us two ghosts right here. For are we not all just living ghosts here on KWJUDAS, Free Radio Provo. Thank you all for joining us.
Rest in peace, everybody. We are gathered here today to mourn the lost souls of reality and perception and nuance. For real lies, real lies, real lies. And it continues. First comes the gods, second comes the slaves, third comes the rage, finally comes the plague. Get the weapons, use no discretion. The fat boy sets off insurrections. If there's a God, we need a blessing. No confession, my soul is stretching. Hip-hop corrections, I might molest him. My bars hit harder than my erections. Won't pay attention to misdirection. I'm not a rapper, I steal elections. I just had to say, got me aggravated. Why rappers be weird, talking anti-gay? Culture wars, too grown to play it. I count my crypto, get high in space. It's underrated and saturated. I'm the one to save it, only one to make it. Griselda Doom all in the playlist. Hitting harder than getting rated. Not from the trap or even on the map. Where the church is white and its soul is black. Where the courts react, leave none intact. Old beef relax, get shot and backed. Homes collapse and market traps. Homeless camps look like a rack. Cop cars we trash, the laws react. Prop 2 is passed and the weed is gas. The fall of man gives rise to the good intentions turn disaster. Now the student becomes a master's. Nothing before me and nothing after. Ashes to ashes, dust under dust. Where everything is us and no one trust. Where the whole world is corrupted and all of it's where winning is a must and all we got is us. Now ashes to ashes, dust under dust. Where everything is us and no one you can trust. Where the whole world is corrupted and all of it's where winning is a must and all we got is us. So what's your style? Your mode as a rapper, the way you flow and the way it factors. Gangster, trapper, backpacker, if you never really blow the it matters. Take what's sold with me, Hermano. It's Day Cabano, new wave soprano. Breaking arm embargoes, we don't beg to borrow. We stash the cargo outside Chicago. Our points are hollow, who's left to swallow. Hard act to follow, look like no tomorrow. Born out the sorrow in Armor Tahoes. We take the cash like Mar-a-Lago. It's me and Bronson, Sherlock and Watson. We packing Thompsons, don't air with caution. Fools get the stomping, girls get the Johnson. We invade your town like Oxycontin. Now ashes to ashes, dust under dust. Where everything is us and no one trust. Where the whole world is corrupted and all of it's where winning is a must and all we got is us. Now ashes to ashes, dust under dust. Where everything is us and no one you can trust. Where the whole world is corrupted and all of it's where winning is a must and all we got is us. My flow relentless, I know pretentious, but I chose sides, y'all chose defensive, so remain pensive and remain defensive. I go against it and closer friendship, so here's a toast to what I needed most. Watch the virus, now eat the host, the unfriended folks and deleted posts. I ain't got no friends, only speak with ghosts. Now ashes to ashes, dust under dust. Where everything is us and no one trust. Where the whole world is corrupted and all of it's where winning is a must and all we got is us. Now ashes to ashes, dust under dust. Where everything is us and no one you can trust. Where the whole world is corrupted and all of it's where winning is a must and all we got is us. Another start, another end, another pad, another pen, another death, another friend, another loss, another win, another day to rock the stage, another fan I get to amaze, another trail I get to blaze, another day to make some waves, another day to rock the boat, another day to rock the vote, another day without the dope, another day to find some hope, another chance, another break, another tape, another take, another town, another place, another year for us to make. Another rhyme, another flow, another mic, another show, another day in the studio, give this thing another go, another chance to face our fears, another sweat, another tear, another crowd, another cheer, we back at another year, another rhyme, another flow, another mic, another show, another day in the studio, give this thing another go, another chance to face our fears, another sweat, another tear, another crowd, another cheer, we back at it another year. Another album came and went, another day, another dollar spent, another chance I get to vent, another fade I get to tempt, another session went and booked, another verse, another hook, another shot, another look, and another chance is took, another day to put in work, another day to make a dollar hurt, another day to press some merch, another hat, another shirt, another stream, another autograph, another milestone is passed, another day of taking names, another day of kicking ass, another day working on the craft, another day of building stats, another future, another path, and a legacy that's built to last. Another rhyme, another flow, another mic, another show, another day in the studio, give this thing another go, another chance to face our fears, another sweat, another tear, another crowd, another cheer, we back at another year. Another rhyme, another flow, another mic, another show, another day in the studio, give this thing another go, another chance to face our fears, another sweat, another tear, another crowd, another cheer, we back at it another year, another year, another year. Poet from 2015 and beyond, still here, chasing the dream. Without a doubt, going out, without a doubt, we're going out. Warm City, Salt Lake, and we out.
We have Poet and DJ Coma here on KWJUDAS Free Radio Provo. That was another year, and it's fitting, because we really are about on our way into another year. We're 1 week away, and it has been quite the year, as we were just saying earlier. This show, in and of itself, has made a lot of changes, just pretty much compared to any other season, wouldn't you say?
No, absolutely. Wasn't it this year? I mean, it might have been a little bit at the end of last year, but now, you're all on Spotify, you're all on all these platforms.
Yeah.
And, I really was able to start streaming just a lot of this show. And of course, we'll still catch the YouTube cartoons and things like that. But I that's the thing too, is whether it be radio or podcasts, anything in long form is really just becoming a really more streamable kind of thing these days. And so to see that, I thought was really dope. I thought that was a really cool thing, because now along with everything else I listen to, I just turn on KWJUDAS right there on my headphones in my car.
No, mad respect, Judas. You're all over. Big progress, man.
Yeah. One day, I might even make it onto KRCL or something. That's when you know I've made it big. Yeah. X96.
I don't whenever I think of X96, I just start thinking of
blowing up the liquor store.
Potential active shooters and
fuck. Yeah, we were talking about that in the car.
No, folks, you literally got to remember, Judas gives you only part of the information and starts laughing, right? He's like, I got 86 from the liquor store, da-da-da. And then out of nowhere just says, fuck X96. And I'm thinking, okay, what did I miss? There was an important gap of information here. And for 3 minutes, he's just laughing. And I'm like, wait, X96, I'm still on the liquor store and you being 86. And then he goes off, oh, yeah, because they played it all the time.
Yeah, you left out the reason why I was fired from the liquor store, though. Before I said, fuck X96.
No, you're right.
They thought I was going to blow the place up or burn the place down or shoot the place up. There was a lot of different misconstrued versions of that rumor that got spread around really fucking quick behind my back that I didn't even know until after I'd got fired. Now, just for clarification, I was not at all not only was I not intending, but not able.
Of course not. Sure.
In no way would I be able to shoot up or blow up the liquor store. I don't have any guns. I'm not allowed to have guns. I don't know how to make a bomb, at least not big enough to blow up a liquor store.
What do you mean you ain't allowed to have guns? This is America. They're like literally pull out $100 and walk down the street and you'll get a gun. Like you can gun. There's more guns here than there are McDonald's.
No, I mean, you know, I've made certain commitments, I suppose. And
right.
I remind myself on a daily basis as to why it's a good thing I don't have a gun.
Fair enough, brother. Fair enough, man.
For the benefit of not just myself, but those around me.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're welcome, Coma.
Yeah. In fact, yes, you should all be thanking me, goddammit. Especially you, and you know who the fuck you are.
So, seeing as this is the Christmas show, Santa get you anything, Arliss?
Well, technically this is getting broadcasted on Christmas Eve, so we will find out tomorrow.
What did you ask?
I asked for AAA.
AAA. All right.
Yeah, dude. I told you I just got my first car just last year, so I'm going on almost 2 years now with me and old Carlos. We've been out on all sorts of... Yeah, thank you.
Again, big progress, Judas.
I mean, yeah, you know.
He's on Spotify, got a car. Like, all right, man, I see you.
Injuring my leg definitely helped me get a lot of other things done. Of course, the pandemic kind of did, too. You know, that's when I first started archiving all that shit. But yeah, getting the car had nothing to do with any of that. But yeah, having that car, I forgot the fuck I was talking about.
You were talking about you asked for AAA, and I'm saying like
having that car has gotten me into a lot of trouble. You know, I'm new to this, and I'm still finding out the boundaries. And I don't know if you've noticed, but the water levels this year have been very low.
Yeah.
And I'm a fisherman. I'm an avid fisherman, and I love camping and such. And so now that I have a car, I'm just going on Google Maps and looking up all these different places that I've either heard of or never heard of, and I'm going to go there. You know how many times I've just picked a spot I've never been, and I'm like, man, I got a fucking car. I can just go. And the lakes, I don't know what they looked like last year or the year before, but I'm pretty sure that they don't look like they did.
Well, I mean,
all of the shorelines have definitely receded, and you think you can drive out closer to the water than you really can. Next thing you know, you're tired. You're like axle deep in the fucking mud, and you can't get out. And I don't have any way to get out of that shit. Luckily, anytime that has happened, which has been several, it was like in front of someone else who had the ability to get me out. Last time it was at a place called Palisade Reservoir, which is down there. Do you guys know where Mount Pleasant is?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I do.
I got a sister that moved out there, and so I've been kind of paying them some visits because there's a lot of places to fish out there, and, you know, trying to, like, acquaint myself with my family, I guess, a little better. I've been laid off, and like, why not? Like, actually try and get to know your niece and nephew, and say, all right, if I'm gonna have to be an uncle, then I'm gonna be an uncle and take you little bastards fishing.
Amen to that.
And my niece, Melody, she's gone out a couple of times late at night because I get there kind of late, and she still comes with us. And we go to a mud hole. And the second time we go to this Palisade place, I beat them there, and the sun is already going down, and I'm already stuck in the mud by the time they catch up with me.
Jesus.
Yeah! And luckily they have AAA, and this is where I fucking learned the value of AAA.
Amen.
And my mom was with us too, and so I was just like, after I, was just like, I don't know what in the hell we're gonna do. They couldn't get me out, and they're like, well, we have AAA, so we're just gonna call them. And after witnessing such a miracle, I'm like, you guys are like car Jesus. You have atoned for my sins. I really thought I was screwed there, and there comes car Jesus. You know, he atoned for my automobile sins and pulled me out of the shithole, and I still was able to catch a fish while we waited for him. And so after that, I looked at my family and I was like, for Christmas, I want AAA.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing as asking Santa.
There you go. There you go. That's good stuff.
Next runner-up, because Mom relays that stuff.
Right. What about you, Coma? What'd you ask for?
I'll be honest. I don't know what to ask for. Oh, no, it's not something I'm going to ask for Christmas, but I'm investing to grab a new laptop soon.
Hey,
all
it's
right.
not too late. It's still Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
I believe in Christmas miracles.
I do too.
Just tell me what you want, and I'll tell my mom, and she'll tell Santa, because that's how you relay the message to Santa. Is you tell my mom.
Yeah,
And instead of a reindeer and sleigh, car Jesus will drive by and drop off a package.
Also,
Yeah,
that was a funny thought that came to me was car Jesus saving Judas.
isn't that kind of a funny situation?
But
now?
then again,
It made me
that's
laugh.
the blessing of car Jesus, because car Jesus forgives.
Hey,
It forgives. No matter how many times you're stuck in the mud, car Jesus will be there to carry you.
yeah, AAA and Jesus have a lot more in common than I think. The more I keep thinking about it, it's like, damn, it's too bad that we already have a cartoon recorded and everything, because if we didn't, it would be about car Jesus.
Yes.
We're going to have to remember that for future episodes, because I like that. I like that.
I'm down with that.
So, without further ado, here is a song about car Jesus, written by poet himself. He just barely came up with this on the fly. Thank you all for listening. Free Radio Provo.
Poet in the 1/6. Let's go. Radical thought. The dramatic shift and change in one's own perception. Jeremiah catalyst that deviates from the social norm to take on the status quo, challenging your perception forever.
Warning. The content you're about to listen to will for all sakes and purposes fuck you up, daring you to ask the questions no one wants answered. This truth cannot be unlearned. Proceed to listen at your own discretion.
Yo. I enter the room in such a dramatic fashion, smacking Governor Herbert in the face, say, what the fuck is happening? Agent 47, bred by wolves and head assassins, breathing flames like fucking dragons, roar with Morpheus in Aladdin, corrupt systems I rattle. The Scandinavian savage who's linked up with Zulu warriors from the Middle Passage. The situation is drastic, my style is so fantastic. Centuries from now, hip-hop will label me as a fucking classic. The waters I am on the supplying the rebel arms to the lost children of Beirut, Syria, and Lebanon, where nations start colliding, civilians start dying, NSA is caught spying, local police are terrorizing. The disrespected troops become the disrespected group, so don't be crying for the youth if you ain't dying for the truth. Freedom fighter, terrorist perspective is the only difference, so I say, fuck your movement, I stand with the resistance. When the conflict settles down, the war machine becomes lifeless. The government needs a crisis, so they perpetrate the ISIS. With the pen, I am the nicest, my style, you cannot bite this. Me and hip-hop go together like senators and gas prices, Radical thought, radical ways of thinking, radical ways of acting, and radical ways of speaking. The bullet is the price for the freedom that's bought. The revolution must be taught or the cause is forever lost. Radical thought, radical ways of thinking, radical ways of acting, and radical ways of speaking. The bullet is the price for the freedom that's bought. The revolution must be taught or the cause is forever lost.
Sometimes I feel like a spiritual being having physical dreams of Freddy Krueger shifting through reams. Hard to focus on my magnum opus, hoping that I rap these quotes in line while hopeless, hoping hope will fill their souls like jerk chicken. This verse written where earth shifting words lifting hers from the dirt like cursed fiction. No reverse birth ever worth your fear gathered that made you revert to feeling this hurt. The worst victim, there's demons in church, there's diamonds in rough. See all the gleams in the dirt, all the more reason to search. Steady deceiving your worth. I know you see me as merch. I wear my heart on my sleeve. You see me bleeding on shirts. I'd rather be out in the open than safe holding my hopes in my throat and never spoken. Always broken, I'm never folding. I never let you walk in my souls like putting toes in new shoes. Never refuse true emotions. It's rivers.
Thought, radical ways of thinking, radical ways of acting, and radical ways of speaking. The bullet is the price for the freedom that's bought. The revolution must be taught or the cause is forever lost. Radical thought, Radical ways of thinking, radical ways of acting, and radical ways of speaking. The bullet is the price for the freedom that's bought. The revolution must be taught or the cause is forever lost. They want conflict resolution with passive aggressive tactics. Prison recidivism helps Congress raise the taxes. Majorities say minorities are the burden to the public, while our military consume over half of our fucking budget. Lobbyists and feminists fight over the stillborn, while progressives only scratch the surface of the drug reform. Congress sends you overseas, come back, no one's there to help you. Bureaucrats leave you stranded, bootless, homeless at the shelter. It's all cover and conceal, eyes only in file seal. The ink from my pen leaks over pages like an oil spill. The information is out there, but most of it's convoluted. The truth they try to pollute it, got a brain then fucking use it. Poetical, radical, with the savage flow. Rhymes are mystical and magical, aimed at the status quo. The country is in hysteria, the government tries to bury ya. Before you cast me out, remember I'm made in America. Radical thought, radical ways of thinking, radical ways of acting, and radical ways of speaking. The bullet is the price for the freedom that's bought. The revolution must be taught or the cause is forever lost. Radical thought, radical ways of thinking, radical ways of acting, and radical ways of speaking. The bullet is the price for the freedom that's bought. The revolution must be taught or the cause is forever lost.
That was Radical Thought. That was written today by Jesus.
Hell yeah. That's the kind of show we run here.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was Radical Thought featuring Chris Rivers. That was off my sophomore release, Radical Thought. All my entire discography can be found Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, YouTube, on my YouTube channel, Poet 801. Please feel free to stream, listen, support the music. It's what we've been doing, going on, I want to say 7 years. Yeah, we've been doing this for 7 years, me and DJ Coma. So it's been a great ride.
Has Coma been with you ever since you first started doing this?
From jump. There was only literally one show, and it was the show where I met him. So when I first released my very first single called Destiny, I had a friend named Clausen who was doing things in Salt Lake, and he was like, "Hey man, you want to do a track with me?" I was like, "Hell yeah!" And I went and I recorded a verse for him, and it was cool. And he's like, "Hey, I got the show at Area 51, and I think it was Bubba Sparks." And I was like, "Yeah, man, I'll come out and do that." And we did our set, and I met Coma, and people were like, "Yo, man," I think it was the promoter was like, "Hey, man, do you have any more material that's like that you got?" And I was like, "Well, I got a couple tracks, one that I just released." This is me just putting out music, I just came onto the scene, and I just looked at Coma and I was like, "Hey, man, I know you don't know me, but." Because Clausen was also doing the next show too. He's like, "I got the show for Sick Jack in a few weeks later here at Area 51," and I was like, "Hey, Coma, could for my set, could I use you?" And he's like, "Yeah, for sure, man, cool." And ever since then, it's been on. So literally, since I came on to the music scene, it's been me and DJ Coma.
I think it's been like 10 years.
What year was that?
That was 2015. So it's been 7 years,
okay.
But that was January of 2015. So next month it will be 8 years.
Damn.
Yeah. How many albums have you put out in that time?
5 projects. So I have The Lone Revolutionary, I have Radical Thought, I have Rio Grande, which has probably been one of my more successful ones.
It seems like it. That one did get some attention.
We're talking radio play and all that. And then after Rio Grande, I did Disillusioned. That was one that I did last year. And then this year I put out Stoic.
Right. Yeah, Stoic came out, wasn't it Halloween?
Yes, sir.
Word. Yeah, we played together right before that.
Yes,
that
sir.
really awesome show with that really awesome sound guy.
Yeah.
That really awesome crowd.
Hey, still got paid. We still came out and just enjoyed ourselves.
Okay, I do have to admit, I don't think I've ever been paid that much to play in front of that few people.
Yeah. It is what it is sometimes. Some shows are hits, some shows are misses, and all you can do is just keep on building and keep on performing. Because one thing I do notice about people people that want to just go out and perform every week, right? It's like, well,
yeah.
think of all these acts, right? Like, does Tech 9 come every other month? No, he comes out once, maybe twice a year.
If that.
Does Gwar come out every year? Like
they were for a minute, man. There was
Or
one year
so-
I saw Guar like 3 or 4 times in one fucking year.
I misspoke. I mean, did they come?
But no, they don't come
every 3 months.
Yeah, like no, you don't want to see. Well, I don't know. I'd probably get sick of them after a while, but
Well, you also got to remember a concert is kind of like a cool occasion, right? Like, you know what, this Friday, I got this money, we're going to go, to this show or whatnot. Like, you're not
Right.
like, even if people that go to concerts every weekend, they're going to different concerts. They're going
Yeah.
to different shows.
they're not going to go to your show every week or every month, even.
So,
Or,
even
maybe not even every year.
and speaking of shows, I hope you guys all enjoyed the show that we had at ABG's this past December 16th. It's just something that we've done every year, ever since actually with the Delta Quorum when we first performed at ABG's, I want to say 2016, 2017.
ABGs won't let us play there anymore. Actually, I hear they might be getting a new bookie soon, so he might work with us, but they never told us why. Actually, I'm like, was it because this guy broke your fucking table?
Yeah, like seriously, ladies and gentlemen, you can all
Because that wasn't us, it was this guy.
You look at all the characters. You look at everyone in Delta Quorum. You look at Poet. You look at everyone else. Who trashes the fucking bar?
This
Coma.
guy.
Coma does
The
it.
nerdy bastard with the glasses.
Literally jumps off the stage onto the table, breaks the shit. And my first concern was like, "Hey, Coma, you all right?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm okay." What the fuck are you doing? Like, once I make sure that he's not like injured, then I'm like, "What the fuck?" And of course, yeah, that that might have came out of our take, but that came out of his take a little bit more than mine. But either way, like that's the thing. Like we always know that, like, especially our fans and our audience know, like if we have like maybe a show in Salt Lake or whatnot, a random spot we can get billed, they always know that in the end we're always going to come home and perform at ABG's at the end of every year, and it's always a special event. And so shout out to everyone who came. Shout out to Blue. Shout out to MGE DeGotis.
So is it like a themed event or like a benefit show or something like that?
So what we do is we do accept donations for the road home. It's an emergency resource center in Salt Lake County and they operate many shelters. They operate a family shelter,
Cool.
a men's and women's shelter, a men's shelter, also plenty of like different like supportive housing.
Do they do
projects.
anything down here in Utah County?
Nothing in Utah County.
Because we need more of that shit down here.
Oh, dude, tell me about it. Like there's actually no. There is no shelter in Utah County.
I know.
That's
what I'm saying.
The closest thing we come to is in Provo, the Food and Care Coalition, which is an amazing
But you
organization.
can't stay there.
But they only have they've just created like a 60-bed supportive housing program. But like obviously you got to sign up, you got to be on a wait list, you got to go through all those things. It's not a 3 a.m, snow's coming down, I need to get somewhere off the streets. Like there's nothing like that in Utah County. And you got to think of it. Utah County is the second most populous county in the state.
Right.
Everyone talks about, all the homeless are in Salt Lake. Well, it's because
we shoved them all up there.
Right. It's the only game in town.
Right.
If you are freezing and you are stuck outside in Provo, what do? You hop the front runner and you get your ass to Salt Lake so you can get into at least an overflow shelter.
Yeah. Or you go stay in Slate Canyon.
Yeah, Slate Canyon. That was Slate Canyon Detention Center. That was my youth.
But yeah, back when they actually did have Utah County had a program, if you needed somewhere to go, they still didn't take very good care of you. They'd put you at like the Hotel Roberts or something.
Right.
If you knew what that was, or some other just very run down motel that, I don't know, has got like blood stains on the sheets and shit.
Yeah.
And there's, drug deals going in and out of every other room.
And the hard part is that it doesn't matter. Like I would take it.
It's better than nothing.
Like that's just the hard, difficult thing. And it's just what people need to really appreciate is that homelessness is so complex. There's so many factors, so many nuances, and in the end, it is more cheaper. It costs taxpayers less to provide people supportive housing, whether it be through vouchers and subsidized rents. It's more cheaper to house someone than to just have them go in and out of shelters, in and out of jails, in and out of hospitals. And people always want it just to be a quick fix. Sometimes a person needs to go through housing multiple times. It's no different than a rehab, right? Like some people might need to go to treatment 2, 3, 4 times. But sooner or later, something is going to help change that dichotomy. Something's going to change that, that trajectory. And even if for those cases of even if those that still don't get it and still need the housing and still need the support, it is better for them to die in an apartment in their own bed than on the goddamn streets. Period.
For sure.
Amen.
For sure. So we're going to get into another song here, and then we're going to tell some Christmas stories. It's been a pleasure having you two both here. Agent Coma, Mayor Poet.
Thank you.
KWJUDAS.
Hey, my name is Sam McBride. I've been homeless for 4 years down here at the road home. I'm here turning my life around thanks to people that are here to care for us and help us. So, this ain't such a bad place. Let's all do it together and we can all survive.
Hello, my name is Brent Weatherroy, and I'm here at the road home, Salt Lake City shelter. And I've been here off and on now for 3 years. And I really like the place. The people here, they do a lot for you. You first have to want to get help to receive help.
I've been working down in this area now about 22 years altogether.
6 a.m. It's time to wake up. Got a new 24 and ready to test my luck. Gather your belongings and you gotta be quick. You leave anything behind, they'll throw away. And I know sometimes I casually rub my lip, but why the young buck tattoo staff member have to trip? But whatever, man, today I'm not focusing on the negative. Let bygones be bygones. Today I'm gonna let it live. I got a wicked cough, so I hit a 4th Street clinic. Pass them Hondos on the corner, cause the dope game I ain't with it. Looking for a job at the library's been a hell of a minute. And I need a couple cigarettes, yeah, I panhandle a little bit. Need to build a resume right at the Wigan Center. Walk over to St. Benny's, make sure to get some dinner. Today I defy the odds, so I know it must be true. Despite your public opinion, I got more living to do. Word. Travel to a forgotten land, located on Rio Grande. People working, try to survive. 30 years on Salt Lake City's west side. Doors are locked and cars never stop. Yelling one time as they rolling down the block. Maybe help you understand. Welcome to life on Rio Grande. 7 a.m. punch the clock and start to check and walk in the shift change. The staff are already tripping. Gotta move past all the bitching and the petty competition. Gotta unify our efforts, we all on the same mission. But this job is far from easy. A lot of times I get distressed when people walk up to the desk. I got no answers to their question. I lash out with that aggression, then I fall through a depression. Walk a better, count your blessings. Humility is a great lesson, but it's hard moving forward in the quicksand, feeling stuck. Feeling like you were made for a job that Congress won't clean up. Can't live in the past, only live in the moment. These are real human beings, not a campaign slogan. We still gotta suit up even when times are hardest. Fine John got sober and Jane got her apartment. So remember, while the media and wealthy are disparaging, helping people find a home is a message that's worth carrying. Travel to a forgotten land, located on Rio Grande. People working, try to survive. 30 years on Salt Lake City's west side. Doors are locked and cars never stop. Yelling one time as they rolling down the block. Maybe help you understand. Welcome to life on Rio Grande. Let me kick a message through the record while you're hearing it. The struggle down in Rio Grande is frankly quite serious. Gotta step up to the problem, homeboy, and stop fearing it. It's gonna take a village, homie, point blank, period. Stop living in denial, ignorance is so astounding. Wanna give people jobs, but no affordable housing. When you cut grants from people, where you think they end up? Time to start working with us and stop working against us. Now it's more than just addicts and people who lack wealth. Halls are filled with senior citizens and wicked mental health. It's time we all unite and rise up for the betterment. Take care of our disabled and do right by our veterans. Operation Diversion, good or bad, hell if I know. Bending upon a park, coalitions, gentrified condos. Can't cover up a problem, something shiny and new. Now if you don't mind, homie, step aside, cause we got work to do. Peace. Travel to a forgotten land, located on Rio Grande. People working, try to survive. 30 years on Salt Lake City's west side.
You know, one thing I noticed that has changed a lot around here, bridges. The bridges were moved back from the west. So before you couldn't see Pioneer Park. You couldn't see the rescue mission if you were getting on one of the freeway on-ramps because the bridges covered all that. You know, and then when the Olympics got here and they pushed back all the freeway on-ramps, you know, boom, and exposed the problem, you know. And what it is, you know, you can see this ugly situation. Nobody wanted to do anything proactively to eliminate that problem, which is, you know, the homeless. You know, their answer is to either move it somewhere, brush it under a rug somewhere, just make it so that it's not visible. People driving by here don't want to acknowledge that there are people living down here that are homeless, that have drug addiction, that have mental illness, You know, and it's all of those things. You know, it's just not a homeless problem.
So, that sample of the dude talking, was that just some sample you found online, or is that a real guy? Like, did you record that yourself?
Yes, sir. That the gentleman's name was Sam McBride. He was a resident at the road home, and you know, when a lot of the guys and even the gals at the shelter that I worked at, they all knew that I made music, and they didn't, you know. They didn't know I was making this album, and obviously I made sure to let like the road home know that I'd be off the clock doing this stuff, because you know, nonprofits don't want to get entangled with like a person that's like, you know, representing them, if you will, and might be making some statements. Because if you heard in that song, I'm calling out the Pioneer Park Coalition and mayors and things like that. And so anyway, and also I also don't want to blur ethical lines. You know, like I'm an employee, come talk to me, right? So like I'm off the clock and I'm just walking around like, hey guys, you know, I'm making this track. And
did you work at the homeless shelter around the Rio Grande?
Yes, sir. I worked there.
Just so that the people listening right now know, that song was called Rio Grande, off the album Rio Grande.
Yes, sir.
Based on the project that they did around the Rio Grande.
About the closing of the shelter, when they were closing it down.
And then they relocated it,
yes,
didn't
sir.
they?
It's not just my favorite thing working with Poet is his work is real. He says real shit, and I love it. It's
not just about the bitches and the hoes and the other derogatory slurs to women or the clothes.
No, absolutely.
Or the cars.
Well, in the end, I mean, how else to be as cliche as possible, but art is an imitation of life, right? And all I can do is just talk about what I do and talk about the life that I live and
what's around you
and the things that I experience. And so working, you know, in a homeless shelter that was being, you know, politically, you know, for political reasons and business reasons was being shut down. I was tired of the narrative going around of sex, drugs, anarchy, and rock and roll just down on Rio Grande. Like, of course, anyone who was aware in like the 2010s and the early 20s, yeah, Rio Grande was a very chaotic place. It was basically third world. You know, you concentrated so much poverty, and you had thousands of people just aligned in two city blocks. So yes, there was drug deals. Yes, there was prostitution. Yes, there was, you know, some acts of violence, but that wasn't the majority. You just had people that were trying to get off the streets, that were trying to find any semblance of hope. And so the Rio Grande album and that song was about me trying to challenge the narrative that was in the news media, challenge the narrative of the state legislators, challenge the narrative of the mayors and city councils that were saying, we need to close this shelter down and just get it out of here. And it's like, but you have no plan. To this day, unsheltered homelessness has increased, I want to say at least 7% since they closed the shelter, because we don't have enough shelter beds. At least on the worst day, yes, it wasn't always the greatest accommodations, but on even the worst day, we could at least squeeze about 800 people into that building, put them on mats on the floor, just something to get out of the snow. Now we don't have that. The shelter beds are regularly full on a daily basis.
Still haven't provided anything.
There's nothing. No, the closest.
I know they still do have that homeless shelter, just kind of right around the corner, isn't it?
By
the Maverick.
So what that is, that is the Salt Lake City Mission. They're their kind of own entity, and they offer, you know, I think they might offer like it's not like a drop-in shelter. It's like a program you sign up for. I could be wrong, but they do offer.
I've been kind of wondering about that
because they have the winter overflow, and so that's where it goes back to just putting mats on the floor, let a person come in at like 8 p.m. and then by like 7, you know, hit the road to go do your thing, and so that's where that came from. So no, the voices that you heard on Rio Grande, these were people, and one of them unfortunately passed away, but I will say that he passed away in his own home. Both those gentlemen that were in the intro to that song were both successfully housed and did not return to homelessness. And so that needs to be always the focus, is that, you know what, there's always going to be trials and errors. There's always going to be some cracks in the system. There's always going to be some fails, but you know what? We have to try. Always.
For sure.
That's progression, and that's good.
Well, we did say that we were going to have some Christmas stories.
Yeah.
So let's have another song, and we're going to get into that just to kind of break up the segments of, well, I don't want to say too dark or too depressing, but it's about to get a lot darker, folks. So hang on to your tinsel. KWJUDAS Free Radio Xmas.
Hit the net from beyond the line. All the time I'm on my grind. Want the smoke, ain't hard to find. Pull it out, his my competition, no opposition, no part to listen. Don't stop to listen, my composition, no parts are missing. I'm on a mission to spark a vision. Bunch of goons with a bunch of guns, wild out under the sun, raising hell just for the fun. Riding out that 801, time is wasting, my mind is racing. Something different, my occupation. Tesla bound, leaving the station. MVP, now you are facing our roof. It's going down in the village. I'm going out for the kill. I hear the wolves in them hills. It's going down in the village. It's going down in the village. I'm going out for the kill. I hear the wolves in them hills. It's going down in the village. Bunch of rebels without a cause, challenge any devil's laws. Written verses without the flaws, no commercial breaks when I come test your fate. We decimate, Mitchell hit that ankle break. Flawless victory, a single take. We knew Ghana, y'all paperweight. Stay stuck on Reed, we let them bleed. A different cloth, a different breed. Pursuit of life and liberty. We burn the throne, won't bend the knee. It's going down in the village. I'm going out for the kill. I hear the wolves in them hills. It's going down in the village. It's going down in the village. I'm going out for the kill. I hear the wolves in them hills. It's going down in the village. Poet, Macon, Vega, 801. Poet, Macon, Vega, 801.
Yeah, that was Wolves off my new album Stoic. That one was produced by Macon. Shout out to Macon. That was a very fun record. Probably one of my favorite ones I've done in a while. So yeah, that was a good joint.
Good stuff. So we're gonna get to the fun part of the show. It's Christmas story time. So, Poet, you get to go first. We're going to be telling some real, true stories from the ghetto.
You know, Christmas is an interesting time, and it's not because whether you are a Christian or whatnot, but it's the end of a year, and Christmas is always something, I guess you can say just personally in my life, because I've had so many different experiences with the holiday seasons that were very beautiful and very rough. And Christmas is also the time where, I mean, it's only a few weeks after my birthday. You know, I'm born on December 15th, and you know, so you know, where
do you like that or do you hate it?
I enjoy it because of the end of the year. Like I
get it all done at once.
Get it all done.
All right.
And it's only like it's still a couple weeks away from Christmas, so I never got like skimped out.
Not too bad.
You know, so it's not like the week of. So it's like, we're just gonna do it all together. It's like
Right.
I still would have my birthday and then a couple weeks. You know, it almost was like added to the festivities, right? Like the holiday season, throwing a birthday. So
for sure.
But there were some hard ones, and I think it takes thinking about the hard ones to embrace how beautiful, you know, the good holiday seasons are. I recall, I spent a Christmas in jail. I was incarcerated.
Yeah, you were
Christmas.
mentioning that. So that's the story we want to hear.
So
the hard Christmas stories.
So as far as that, it was in my early 20s. Was very lost and very destructive. I believed I was going to be the one that was just going to, you know, live fast, die young, leave a good looking corpse, living by that Bob Dylan quote, you know, better to, you know, burn out than to fade away. And all of a sudden, you know, I'm not making music. I'm not writing poetry. I was, you know, caught up in a lot of bad shit as a kid. wanting to just be this super criminal, right, and was involved in all these different things. But then I didn't want to do that anymore. But I didn't know what else to do, right? So I'm basically in this purgatory in my life, where okay, I'm not going to be Scarface. I'm still alive. But what now? And so what I filled that up with was just excessive amounts of drugs and alcohol, excessive amounts of petty crimes. And so I want to say it was for just some old warrant that I had. I was in jail, and it was I was in there on my, it was in, I want to say I got locked up in November, and I was thinking, okay, I'm going to be out here in a few weeks. And on my birthday, I go to, the hearing with, I want to say Judge, gosh, I can't remember his name. He was the old PG judge. He was the judge for Pleasant Grove and Linden. But he's
Judge Backlund.
There we go. Judge Backlund. So I went to his...
Was it him?
Yes.
That guy was the notorious asshole back then.
Yeah, what he did was he just said, well, nope, you didn't show up, so I'm just going to give you your full sentence for this charge. And what people don't understand is like, oh, a Class B misdemeanor, a Class C, that's not that bad. Well, you also got to remember, technically in the law, it says you can be punished up to jail for 0 to 180 days, things like that. And so Judge Backlund said, no, I'm going to give you the full. Yeah. I was going to be in there for Christmas. I was going to be in there for New Year's. And I went back to my cell because, honestly, I was in jail so many, in and out so much that even the deputies were trying to be solid and like, you can do that time on your head. And I did, right? Like, it's not like I've done longer sentences. I've done 6 months here. Like it really wasn't nothing. It was just more like, wow, my family isn't going to have me for Christmas. My mother, she immigrated this country from Norway, and she's not a festive woman. She doesn't do all these things on like St. Patrick's Day, Valentine's Day, like all that kind of, like the one thing she does do is Christmas Eve at her house. And she, like most Norwegians, are either hardcore like like black metal atheists or whatnot, or the other half are Lutherans. They're Christians, and my mother is in that category.
They're the ones that gave birth to all the
black
metal heathens.
So all
rebelling,
all the Demu Borgir, the Amon Amas, like their parents are Lutherans. So my mom would even read from like the little Bible and whatnot, and like just a little passage, and she would bake Norwegian food, and so that was always a thing. And what was really hard was at this time, our family was just still overcoming a lot of tragedy. In the same year, my grandfather Hildur, he passed away. My uncle Arna, so both my mom's brother and father both passed away in the same year. Now that was 2017, but so even though it was like about a year or two later, it was still hard, right? Because basically our Christmas gathering is just my mother, myself, and my sister. So it's a very small table, and so that year it's going to be my mother and my sister, and that hurt. Because I think the hard thing that people don't want to accept when they want to live the thug life or they want to be outlaws is that your actions, no matter how much you want to say, I don't care what happens to me, blah, blah, blah. Well, it's not just happening to you. Your family is doing the time with you, right? Like your family is impacted by you. Like, and so that Christmas Eve, I woke up and just went and did my thing, but I didn't play spades that day. I didn't really do much. I just kind of sat there and I thought, I'm not doing this again. And so I had to have a talk. I had to have a talk with myself. I said, okay, congratulations, Ryan. You don't want to do this again. What are you going to do? Now, I'm not going to say that after I got out, I want to say after a couple weeks after New Year's, that everything changed and everything was so easy and hunky-dory. No, there was a lot of ups and downs. There was a lot of falls. I still had more struggles to go through. I ended up a couple years later going to rehab and finally moving to Salt Lake, and everything changed, and now blah, blah. But the point being is I was never incarcerated on Christmas again. And actually earlier this year, I went to the Utah Board of Pardons, and they expunged my entire record.
Nice.
I was granted a full pardon for for all my crimes.
Did you have to pay anything?
No. What it is like if like you. When people say you have to pay stuff, it just means like if you like all your old cases, if you have any unpaid fines, like even if we're like, oh, it just goes to like the state tax collector or whatever, who cares, right? Like it still shows that it's technically owed, even if there's no warrants or they're not chasing it and it just becomes some bad bill. It still shows. So like, but no, because over the course of all those years, ever since that Christmas I was incarcerated, all the highs, all the lows, all the mistakes, all the triumphs, all that, I slowly but surely took care of this bit and took care of that bit and paid this and paid that. And I just want every listener hearing this, for those that are waiting for their Christmas miracle. Christmas miracles happen on a daily basis. They just start small and they build. It's if we're talking wintertime, it's literally the snowball that can become an avalanche. And those avalanches aren't always bad. I promise you can get an avalanche of beautiful things, because this Christmas I get to celebrate in our first home that my wife and I bought just this year.
Nice.
Earlier this month, I hung up Christmas lights on the house and all these different things.
On your own house.
On my own house. Word. So for anyone just wants to, to understand that, But I will say this as part of, before I finish on the Christmas story, if we're talking dark Christmas stories, there was one cool thing that did happen in jail. Just a bunch of random people from whatever organization, whatnot, they came and sung us Christmas carols. Now, we were all in our cells, obviously, but...
So you couldn't fuck them up.
Yeah, basically.
Otherwise.
Yeah, they all called us out of our cells. We went and grabbed like a little apple pie, whatnot. Then we went back to our cells and they
apple pie. I
mean, and they sung us Christmas carols.
Hell yeah.
So, but yeah, that'll be always a Christmas story for the good and the bad. The bad was I was incarcerated for Christmas, but the good is I never have been ever since.
And now for the ugly. Oh, wait, you were going to tell your story last. Okay, it's my turn. The uglier. I'm kidding. Okay, yeah, that was a real dark story there, Poet. Mine, I guess, it has a happy ending in a way. I might have related this story on an earlier Christmas episode, but almost every time we record a Christmas episode of KWJUDAS, it can't be aired, or it gets blocked by YouTube or whatever for whatever reason. Usually because we played we're playing more mainstream Christmas stuff. I mean, because we're trying to find any Christmas shit we can find that's not too mainstream,
right? But
still, some of it will be like bands that are
recognizable.
Yeah, recognized or a little bit bigger. So yeah, this time I don't think, for once at least, this Christmas episode's going to get blocked. Because we have 3 or 4, maybe 5. One of them is 5 hours long. And that one for sure got blocked because we played a lot of stuff on there. And Captain Freedom said some things he shouldn't have said anyways. Mad props to Captain Freedom, by the way. Anyways, so this when I was young. This when I was a kid. And I'm the oldest of 7 Mormon family, 7 kids.
Yeah.
And I kind of, when I started getting a little bit older, would sort of kind of help a little bit with the Christmas shopping kind of thing. And I go with Mom to Walmart back when I was okay with setting foot in a Walmart. And I really haven't been in 15 years. I think 16 now. I don't know. It's been a long time. I won't go in there. But anyways, I was a kid, so I didn't have a choice. So we did some shopping for my sisters. I have 4 sisters, and, it was all this, cutesy little girl Barbie shit. And we bought a bunch of this at one store, and then we stopped at Walmart to get some other stuff for another order, shall we say, another Christmas list. And we come out to the Walmart parking lot in AF, and all my sister's gifts had been stolen. Yeah, what kind of an asshole? And of course you have to sit and think, all right, you just have to tell yourself, instead of what kind of an asshole, this motherfucker must have been real desperate. They better have been real desperate.
Right.
And this better have gone, I hope, to a better cause. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely.
Maybe it really did, like, somebody just
you
could not afford Christmas and stole it for their kids
Right.
that genuinely had zero money, and this just made some kid's day somewhere else. We don't know where. Hopefully, it wasn't just someone that just stole it to sell it to somebody else. I don't know. And so that's like the only way that you can look at it without shedding a tear. But my family has never been very well off. You know what I mean? Like we would always go back. You know, you get Christmas break. We'd always go back to school, and we'd always hear the other kids talk about how they got all the new cool shit, and we're just like, well, we got. We were lucky. We were grateful we got what we got.
Right.
Whatever it was, you know, we were still stoked about it because it was still something we asked for. We just, I guess, had a little bit lower of a price range.
Right.
You know? And so even though when you thought you got, like, some cool shit for Christmas, you'd go back to school and see what all the other kids got and be like, okay, well, at least I got some Legos. Fuck it.
Yep.
I love Legos, so whatever. You know? So, yeah, the happy ending, I suppose, would be the fact that I was at the age, I think I was like a deacon or something, where you kind of talk to your bishop kind of regularly about, like, you know, bishop deacon stuff.
Yeah. Super
Right.
top secret.
Stuff we're not allowed to mention here on KWJUDAS, but, you know, deacon bishop stuff, if you know what I mean. So, after we were done with our deacon bishop moment, he was like, so how's your family doing this Christmas? Because, you know, there have been other years that we weren't doing so great. And, you know, they'll do those secret Santa things where,
Yeah.
what just happened there?
Yeah. No. Like, I know what you mean.
So, there we go. Sorry, I'll edit that out. That just, like, my headphones just pulled out. Anyways, so
Sorry, I may have adjusted and messed that.
You're good. So they would do these secret Santa things, you know, where another member of the ward who actually did have a little extra money would offer to buy gifts for another member of the ward who wasn't doing so great.
Right.
And when my bishop asked, I told him about that. That I was with my mom when our whole car got robbed. And so he was just like, okay, all right, yeah, I hear ya. What, and since I was already Christmas shopping with my mom, I already knew what all my siblings wanted for Christmas. And so all I had to do was kind of just transfer the Christmas lists,
Right.
you know, over to my bishop. And, dude, I kind of performed a Christmas miracle.
Hell yeah,
in a
man.
sense by, like, sure, I didn't provide those gifts, but I was like, hey, Bish, I know how y'all got that secret Santa business. What do you say I give you a list, you all check it twice and hook it up, you know? And they did. Actually, we got, like, better Christmas presents, probably more Christmas presents than we would have on a normal year, because, you know, we give them a list and we only expect like one thing off that.
Right.
And it's like, hey, surprise me. They all cost about the same. And when I give them that list, we got like everything on the list instead of just one item. So it's just like, fuck yeah. Let's just pretend like we get robbed every year. We didn't, but I still learned a valuable lesson that year. You can get way better present if you tell your bishop you got robbed.
Now that is the true meaning of Christmas.
Way more presents if you tell your bishop you got robbed. So, on to DJ Coma.
All right.
He also has a
Dark Christmas
dark
story.
Christmas story turned bright.
So it was a good while ago, and I was struggling in life, and I made some poor choices, self-harm, and I left, and it was early December, I believe, and I got locked up at uni, the Neuropsychiatric Institute, and I spent my Christmas locked up, and I believe I got a phone call. I got to hear from my family saying Merry Christmas, and of course it was a limited 1 minute,
Right.
and it was definitely the crappiest Christmas I ever had. I was so upset. I wasn't with my family. I was surrounded by others of definite need of help, and I made I was there for a good while and eventually came out, and as we speak, with music and pursuing music, I was looking into and being a DJ, and as we speak today, I'm doing the absolute best I ever have, and it's almost especially because of Poet, starting from the beginning with him.
Hell yeah.
And my good friend Pat Seifert. Without them, I'm living the best I ever have. Things are incredible today. So much progress. I got shows all the time. Lots of progress with life in general, and I like it. I'm happy, and I really like this feeling. It's pretty cool.
Hell yeah.
Thank you, guys.
It is actually kind of unique and almost remarkable that not only were these Christmas stories, but also very much in correlation with you guys' own personal musical careers. Yeah. Christmas isn't just like one of those things where you get your presents stolen and you tell your bishop to have someone buy you better presents. I mean, this shit, obviously, both you guys' stories were life impacting. I mean, that was seriously some of the best damn Christmas stories I've ever heard.
Yeah, we appreciate it, brother.
So let's get on to our next story. In musical form, rather. The song is about being proud of the progress you've made and so forth. Poet?
Ladies and gentlemen, you are now listening to I'm So Proud, and always know that always be proud of yourself and everything that you can and will do in this life.
And after that, we're going to get to our cartoon. But before that, remind us where we find your music. Where's the best place to hook up with the Poet?
Absolutely. First place, I would say, just go to my YouTube channel at Poet801, because not only that, it's just got all the videos. It has all the links to everything. But yes, you can, I have things set up on Spotify, Apple Music, anything where you stream, just put in Poet, and then you can even put in my latest album, Stoic. It's going to pop right up. So please feel free to stream, listen as much as you like. It's always a good, have all the people show us all the love and support that they do, and we're going to continue doing this for another 8 years. We'll be doing this until I'm 100 years old. So
you're going to be 100 years old in 8 years?
Yeah, I see what you did there. Yeah, you're funny. Yeah.
Plot twist.
Ball buster.
Poet is a lot older than you thought. That's why we made him the mayor of Gumption, which you are about to find out finally, kids, on part 3 of the Christmas special of Gumption Chronicles. But before that, this song is called I'm So Proud of You, and I am so stoked to have had you guys here tonight.
Thank you.
And
always a pleasure.
All of you kiddies at home, thank you for joining us on Christmas Eve of all nights. We know that you had nothing better to do, obviously. So that's why we made this special.
And always know that we're here to enjoy your Christmas with you. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy whatever the hell you want. Enjoy the holidays. We love you.
Have
Much
a good
love.
night.
Thank you.
I'm so proud of you.
Damn. Man, it's crazy. How one moment life can be so dramatic and drastic, and next can be so beautiful and fantastic. Yeah, well, that's the way it goes. Now come and fly with me.
Poet at the crib, sounds of Einstein in your ear. Think of all the crazy things that can happen in a year. It all starts as a dream, the glory road where you're heading. But you drinking Seagram 7 under the stairway to heaven. Go from hopeless to dopeless, jail cells and overdoses. Making moves and get your focus in the streets, start taking notice. Me and Coma doing shows, some kids nobody knows. Then we open for Take 9 and just steal the whole show. Taking every opportunity without no hesitation. Blessings manifest itself with sacrifice and dedication. And that's how it goes, it still blows me away. I never thought I'd see the day when I'd hear the people say, I'm so proud of the way you came up. I'm so proud of the time you made up. I'm so proud how you made your way up. And I'm so proud that you never gave up.
And I'm so proud.
Yes, I just want to say I'm so proud of every single person in my life. From my babies to my friends. With every dawn becomes a new day, people. We're making it, baby.
Bringing visions with precisions over wicked algorithms. Knowledge is the condition, freeing the mind from its prison. If you don't get what I'm spitting or the metaphors I'm kicking, in layman's terms, get over yourself and quit the bitching. Now I don't dismiss your pain, cause inside I feel the same. For a poet's soul is only giving birth inside the rain. But don't let your dirty shoes hold you back from the dance. As long as you get out of bed, your life has got a fighting chance. If you barely make rent and all your check is spent, when your spirit is content, will your wealth make sense? The foundation that we lay for the next to make the way. If no one told you today, let me be the first to say, I'm so proud of the way you came up. I'm so proud of the time you made up. I'm so proud how you made your way up. And I'm so proud that you never gave up.
And I'm so proud.
Ladies and gentlemen, accomplishments are not just measured by mere financial status or position. The addict who walks past that dope man and goes to his job interview, damn it, I am proud of you. To the single mothers doing it all on their own, the single fathers doing it all on their own, feeling that they ain't making it for their kid, god damn it, your kid is proud of you. To every single one of my people, I am proud of you, you bad motherfuckers. I am proud of you. And don't you ever forget that. And we out.
Previously in Gumption City. When we last left Gumption Studios, our tall, swanky, evil custodian just so happened to notice the hurricane of havoc he deliberately unleashed through our famed talk show host Judas's sobriety and deliberately provoked anger by said custodian in an at least kind of elaborate scheme to get back to his own home planet, which quickly goes awry when the portal spews forth negative Christmas cheer instead of sucking in anything. Meanwhile, our impervious group of main characters makes final preparations for the upcoming Save the Flesh-Eating Wombat Christmas Benefit Concert, when suddenly...
Ugh, you're a terrible narrator. Nothing is happening, literally. And yes, the reason people think there are so many songs about rainbows is directly Kermit T. Frog.
Well, I'll be dipped.
So what's going on here? You really want us to set up our own sound system?
Well, I don't usually need one, Arliss. I plays country music.
That's impressively immature. Either way, I am the mayor's agent, and I was under the impression we'd be starting 16 minutes ago. And it seems all you have is a megaphone? And where is everyone? We need a bigger audience.
Oh, I got this, boys. I want a bigger audience for Christmas. Only bigger audience will do. No.
What the hell is wrong with you? That was immorally moronic.
Good evening, citizens, and Merry Christmas!
Shh, Arliss, he's starting.
Although I do realize this quiet conservative town of Gumption, Utah is, in fact, a town, we will probably never be on the maps. Or at least not on Google Maps. But with enough Christmas spirit,
Good people of Gumption Town, I believe someday we might be. And without further ado, the mayor of Gumption City, Utah, Poet!
Sir, that's you, sir.
Yes, indeed. I believe it is.
All I want for Christmas is for all them charges dropped, yeah. All I want for Christmas is for child support to stop, All I want for Christmas is a weekend without all my kids. All I want for... What the fuck is that?
It's a giant demon Santa Claus, Orlis.
Agent Coma,
Yes, Mayor Poet.
how much were we getting paid to do this again?
17,000 peanut shells, sir.
Good.
Will our friends find a way to defeat this overlooming portal to hell? And about how much is 17,000 peanut shells in cryptocurrency? Hey, we answered the Kermit the Frog question in this episode, so you can bet we'll at least get to one of those two questions in the next episode of the Gumption City Chronicles. Brought to you by Dervish Lee. Remember, if it doesn't say Dervish, it's not Dervish Lee.
We'd like to wish you a season's greetings on KWJUDAS and thank you for joining us on yet another Yuletide episode. Please stay tuned for the exciting season finale on New Year's Eve. We now return you to our regular free radio program.